Good morning, 10th grade. I hope you all are doing well over the break. Well, it's not really a break, it's more like a virus outbreak. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. You should be working on your job project. Hopefully you have seen that posted. You got it in your folder, you are working on it. I am going to be counting that for a test grade, so that's something that you guys need to make sure that you do well on, put some effort into it. But it's not supposed to consume all of your time. Make sure you're working on your other classes as well. We will be starting a new chapter today in your class notes. Your last chapter should have been chapter 16. We finished up with reptiles and amphibians. We took a test, we took the midterm before everything happened. So we're going to be jumping into a brand new chapter today. We're going to start talking about fish. Now today's video is going to cover 2 days worth of notes. Okay, so it will cover today's notes and tomorrow's notes. So if you want to watch half the video today and half of it tomorrow, if you want to get it all done today, that's fine. Do what works best for you. You do need to be taking your notes as I go through the video here. If you need to pause it so you can get something down because I moved too quickly, do that. Do what you got to do to make it work for you. But I will be checking your notes when school starts again. I will be checking them and making sure that you kept up with them, that you were current, and you'll be getting a quiz grade based on whether or not you have current notes. So if you decide that you don't want to take notes, just know you will get a 0 in the quiz slot when the time comes. All right, so chapter 17, fish. We're going to talk about two types of fish mainly is what we're going to focus on, bony fish and cartilaginous fish. We will focus more so on the bony fish and the structure of a bony fish than we will a cartilaginous fish. And this is because bony fish make up about 95% of the fish that we are familiar with. Okay? So, some basic introductory facts here for you. Fish are cold-blooded, water-dwelling vertebrates with gills and scales. As far as being a vertebrate goes, fish have every characteristic that other vertebrates do. The main difference is the gills and scales. In place of lungs, they have gills. In place of skin or fur, they have scales. All right. The whale shark is the world's largest fish. It can be up to 60 feet in length and weigh up to 20 tons. So that is the equivalent of 20 elephants, basically. All right, think of that, 20 elephants, all compacted into one shark. An ichthyologist, that's a fun word to say. I would encourage you to try to say it, or if you think I don't say it right, look it up and see how it's pronounced. Check me out. Anyway, this is a scientist who spends their life studying fish. I think fish are cool. I like having Armando in the corner over there, but I don't know that I like them enough to dedicate my whole life to them. There are some people out there who do, and if that's you, maybe you could become one someday. Fish will eat anything from microscopic plants and animals to other fish. It really depends on the species of fish, depends on what they're going to, what their eating habits are going to be. But they are not picky. They will eat other fish. It is not uncommon to catch, even in lakes around here, to catch a bass or to catch some sort of catfish and find another fish in its stomach. Carnivorous fish are found in the greatest variety. So if it's a carnivore, that means that it's eating other animals. It might eat plants, but it's not focusing mainly on plant intake. It's focusing mainly on eating other animals, and that's the majority of fish that you will find. All right, the two fish groups, like I said, we're going to talk about bony fish and cartilaginous fish. So the two main groups there, bony fish are those with skeletons made either partially or wholly of bone. So if there is any trace of bone in their skeleton at all, they fall into the bony fish category. Even if it's just, and I'm going to fix this camera because I feel like I can't see myself very well. There we go. All right. So even if their skeleton is made just partially of bone, they get grouped into the bony fish category. And then cartilaginous fish are those with skeletons made of cartilage. Cartilage is the substance that makes up your nose. Okay, so feel your nose, and you have felt what a cartilaginous fish would feel like. So we're going to talk about bony fish first. That's what we're going to focus on today. And this is where we're going to cross into tomorrow's notes as well. So if you only want to take a few of these and then focus on the rest of them tomorrow, that's fine. Again, do what works for you. So some basic introductory facts. Like I said earlier, 95% of the known species of fish fall into the bony fish category. That's why we're going to focus mainly on bony fish with this chapter. Fish are one of the most nourishing foods for your body. They provide as much protein as red meat and are packed with vitamins and minerals. They also help your heart. Fish oil is good for the heart. It helps your blood pressure. So if you don't like fish, like me, I'm not really a fish person. I'll eat a little bit of it here and there, but for the most part, I don't like the way it tastes. You got to find another source of protein that's going to give your body what it needs. However, if you like fish, you could eat fish all day long and get all the protein that you need, all the vitamins and minerals that you need, and be healthy. So, the structure of a bony fish. Now, a fish has three main body regions: the head, the trunk, and the tail. So we're going to look at the head first. The head is composed of the jawbones and the skull. Okay. But the jawbones allow the bony fish to have a streamlined shape when the mouth is closed. Now that streamlined shape is vital to them moving through the water. Okay, without that streamlined shape, they're going to get bogged down. They're not going to be able to move as quickly as they would need to either A, catch prey, or B, avoid being prey. Most have teeth to help them eat. Predatory fish also have throat teeth to help them grip their prey while swallowing. You guys remember when we talked about snakes? We talked about some snakes have an extra set of teeth in the back of their throat that help hold the prey in so they can swallow the prey. Some predatory fish have the same feature. Okay, they have these extra teeth at the back of their throat that allow them to capture the fish they're eating so it doesn't swim out of their mouth while they're trying to swallow it. Their taste buds are found on the outside of the body. It's actually very interesting. Fish taste their food before it even enters their mouth. Okay, their taste buds are found on the outsides of their mouth, and even with some species of fish, they're found along their gills, and they taste their food before it ever enters their mouth. So they get a sense of, do I want to eat this or do I not want to eat this? Which would be nice for us sometimes, I think, because there are some things that I put in my mouth that I wish I didn't when it comes to food. Continuing on here with the head, the gills are normally hidden beneath gill covers known as the opercula, found at the back of the head. Have you guys ever noticed a fish when they are, let me put this down so I can demonstrate it a little bit better. A fish, when they're just chilling out there, they're moving, it's almost like flaps at the sides of their head, all right? Well, those flaps are the opercula, they are the gill covers. They help keep the gills safe, that way they don't get damaged when the fish is swimming through something that might be a little hazardous for them. But they also help keep things from getting into the gills that should not be there. The eyes are on the sides of the head, and this gives them a wide field of vision, okay? Like us, we have to turn our heads to see to the side, right? Well, a fish doesn't have to do that. A fish has the ability to see out either side at the same time. The trunk and the tail. The main features that compose the trunk and the tail of the fish body are the fins. So we're going to break down the different types of fins here for you. All right, first type, and probably the ones that you are most familiar with, are the pectoral fins. These are paired fins found beneath the head on each side of the body. These tend to be the ones with which the fish will push themselves through the water. The pelvic fin, these are paired fins found on the lower end of the trunk, so these are the tail fins pretty much. These fins, along with the pectoral fins, allow the fish to angle up or down and help them to stop. Okay? If you take some time and you were to sit and observe a fish in a tank, which again, not everybody's calling in life, but if you were, you would notice that as they're swimming, if they want to stop, they'll actually slightly angle that tail, so the tail will allow them to come to a stop. And the dorsal fin, these are the ones that project upward from the fish's back. You might not notice them so much on just everyday species of fish. When you think of a dorsal fin, we tend to think more of whales or sharks or dolphins having that dorsal fin. But your everyday betta fish, like Armando over there in the corner, they have them too. The anal fin. The anal fin, these are interesting because the anal fins, these come down from the back of the fish, okay? And what these do is they help stabilize the fish while it's in motion. Basically, they're the balance system for the fish, okay? So as the fish is swimming through the water, so it can stay in the straight path, that's what those anal fins do. It keeps it from going all over the place as it's swimming through the water. Some anal fins will have sharp spines on them to help protect the fish from predators. What they'll do, some predators will only attack fish from the back. So those anal fins, if they have spikes on them, when the predator goes to attack, they get pricked by those anal fins and they back off and they leave the fish alone. And then you have the caudal fin, which comes from the fish's tail and acts as the propeller and rudder. All right, your skin and, well, not your skin, a fish's skin and scales. Skin first. So most bony fish have a very tough skin. The skin contains mucus cells. If you've ever touched a fish before, you'll notice that they're very slimy, okay? And that's because of these mucus cells that the fish has embedded in the skin. The mucus protects the fish from parasites. It also helps waterproof the fish's skin, and it reduces the friction as the fish swims through the water, okay? Some fish can reach very high speeds, okay? And think about it, if they were to, I still feel like I'm not all the way in this video. Sorry guys, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm not very good at it yet. But maybe by the end of 2 weeks, we'll have it down. Still not in the video. Okay, there I am. Anyway, most fish will swim very quickly as they go through the water. And if you know anything about friction, think back to physical science last year when we talked about friction. Friction creates heat, and heat, with too much friction is applied, can actually create fire. So wouldn't it be weird if a fish was bolting through the water and caught itself on fire, okay? These mucus cells help reduce that friction so that it doesn't catch on fire in the extreme case, or be in the more common case, overheat. The skin has chromatophores that give the different species of fish all of their distinct colors. We've talked about chromatophores when we talked about amphibians and how they help change colors and all of those different things. Some fish, their chromatophores are a very distinct color for their entire life. Some, their chromatophores change with age. Others, their chromatophores have the ability to change with their surroundings at the drop of a hat. The scales. These are the bony plates that provide a protective covering that are found in the dermis region, so that upper layer of skin for the fish. Some fish will lack scales completely. Not all of them do. One that comes to mind off the top of my head is like a hagfish or a lamprey. They lack scales. They're kind of an eel-like fish. And as a fish grows, they don't produce new scales. The ones they already have simply grow. Now, scales are made of bone, okay? They're like a fish's bones. So think about your body. as you grow, you don't get a new bone, right? You don't, your leg bones don't go, okay, well, it's time for a growth spurt, so you gotta go get new leg bones put in. No, your leg bones just grow with you. The same thing is true of a fish's scales, all right? The scales don't fall off, they just grow with the fish. All right, the skeleton and the muscles. The skeleton, we'll look at that first. This is the, how do I want to say this? The main portion of a fish's skeleton is going to be that backbone, okay? Everything connects to the backbone in some way, shape, or form with a fish. So the backbone of the fish is made of separate vertebra, of bone or cartilage. Now, if you're dealing with a cartilaginous fish, the backbone is going to be made of cartilage. If you're dealing with a bony fish, it's going to be made of bone. This backbone provides the framework and the support for the fish. Like I said, let's think about your body, okay? Can you stand if your back isn't working right? Think about it. No, you can't stand if your back isn't working right. Your backbone is the support structure for your body, okay? The same thing is true of a fish. The backbone is the support structure for the fish. There are extensions that support the upper parts of the body. These extensions, they come in all different lengths as far as the different fish species go. The cranium protects, I can't read today, guys, sorry. The cranium protects the brain and supports the mouth and gills. The cranium, think about your head, okay? We're gonna refer back to us a lot because it's easier to think about you than a fish sometimes. All right, your cranium protects your brain, okay? Fish's cranium does the same thing. And your cranium also is that support for your jaw, okay? Think about where your jaw is hinged. It's hinged up on your cranium, correct? A fish's is as well. Three basic kinds of muscle that you will find in a fish. You will also find these types of muscles in other vertebrates. You can even find these muscles in your body. You have the skeletal muscle, which makes up the flesh. Now, the skeletal muscle is composed of these special W-shaped bands called myomeres, okay? And these myomeres, think of them like finger projections, okay, that go into the skeletal muscles. So there are these fingers that are reaching down into the skeletal muscle, and each one is controlled by its own individual nerve. So, let's just imagine here with me for a minute, guys. All right, so put your hand out. I'm trying to get my hand in the video. Sorry, again, still trying to figure this out. Put your hand out, and you'll notice that each finger goes down into, we're gonna pretend there's a fish here, okay? We're gonna pretend that my hand is the top of the fish's backbone and my fingers are going down into the fish. All right, if the fish wants to move the index finger portion, it has a nerve that controls the index finger to bend it down, okay? And that nerve only controls the index finger. The myomere that is connected to that nerve is the only one that nerve can control. No matter how hard the fish would try, the myomere, the nerve that is connected to the index finger myomere, could not move the myomere that is connected to the middle finger. Okay, it is impossible. It only controls the index finger myomere, and the middle finger myomere can only be moved by the middle finger nerve. All right. Hopefully I didn't confuse you guys. Hopefully that makes sense in your brain. If it doesn't, I'll try to explain it better when I see you next time. All right. You also have smooth muscle. This makes up the digestive organs, and cardiac muscle is only found in the heart, and it makes up the heart. And that is where we are going to stop for today. Like I said, that is 2 days worth of notes. So make sure that you get all of them down, because I will be checking your notebooks when you come back, and I will be giving you a quiz grade for that. I miss you guys. I'm praying for you, And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or to drop me a message on the LMS dashboard, all right? I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you next time.